Young Turks now has audio, the TYT Audio Network, podcasts of some of your favorite shows and new shows, including one with Nina Turner, former Ohio State Senator. She's going to do We the People with Nina Turner, talking about equality and justice and seeing that through the eyes of regular Americans who are affected by politics and policy. Everybody check it out at tyt.com/audio.
During Donald Trump's interview with Bret Baier on Fox News, it became abundantly clear, if it wasn't clear already, that Trump seems to have an affinity for dictators around the world, specifically Vladimir Putin and also the leader of China. But first, I want to start off with Trump's support of Putin and how he insisted that Russia should be involved in these G7 summits. So it would be the G8. Of course, Russia was expelled from these summits because of the fact that they had annexed Crimea in Ukraine. Now, Bret Baier asked him about that, and here's why Trump wants Russia to be involved. Take a look.
You know, we spend probably 25% of our time talking about Russia. And I said to myself, wouldn't it be better if they were here? Now, I'm not for Russia, I'm for the United States. But as an example, if Vladimir Putin were sitting next to me at a table instead of one of the others, and we were having dinner the other night in Canada, I could say, would you do me a favor? Would you get out of Syria? Would you do me a favor? Would you get out of the Ukraine? Get out of Ukraine, you shouldn't be there. Just come on, Now, I think I'd probably have a good relationship with him. If he were at that meeting, I could ask him to do things that are good for the world.
So this is actually good news because previous reporting indicated that Trump was not receiving any counsel, any advice on such important issues. And now it appears that he is working with one aide in particular. And we have some video of his mentorship. Take a look.
For you naysayers, I have two strong words for you. Come on. Come on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, sure. All right. Why
not? Well, I didn't know he was emulating him. Okay, then that makes sense. Okay. I'm always reminded of Christina O'Donnell's ad. That was a Republican in Delaware a while back who ran a campaign ad saying, "I'm not a witch." Opening up the question as to whether she was a witch. So when Trump says, "No, I'm not for Russia, I'm for America," you're the president of the United States of America. You shouldn't have to say that sentence.
Come on.
Come on. On the other hand, come on. And look at again, I feel bad for kids every time I say this, but what a child. If Russia was sitting next to me, I'd say, hey, do me a favor. Do me a favor, get out of Syria.
Come on.
Okay, MAGA guys, really? Really? You think that's how it works? Putin's like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, you wanted a favor. Here, I'll pass the banana pudding and I'll get out of Syria. You think that's how it works? You think Putin's a schmuck? Like, oh, I didn't know you were gonna ask me for a favor. Okay, because what has Trump done his whole life? He runs these companies. His daddy gave him the money. He bankrupted 6 companies, and he normally goes into negotiations and goes, come on, do me a favor, right? They're not gonna get out of Crimea to do you a favor. I mean, this is worse than Bush. George W. Bush said that he looked into Putin's eyes and saw that he had a good heart. Oh, Jesus Christ, a bunch of children. And he gave him the nickname Pootie Poot. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Trump just outdid Pootie Poot.
Yeah.
I'd say, hey, pass the A1 sauce and get out of Syria.
Yeah. Well, look, Trump seems to, again, have some affection, admiration for people who tend to be dictators, tend to be authoritarian. Another perfect example is how he applauds the leader of China. Now, the leader of China essentially did away with his own term limits so he can be the leader of China indefinitely. And here's what Trump had to say about that.
I have a very good relationship with President Xi of China. He's an incredible guy. They just, essentially president for life. That's pretty good.
President for life, that's pretty good. No, look, that's kind of terrifying, though. That's kind of terrifying.
He does think that. He does think that. I've told you a million times, he doesn't believe in our form of government. He doesn't believe in democracy. He's like, why doesn't the Attorney General work for me?
That's right.
Why does he work for the American people? I don't get it. Why does he enforce the law if I don't want him to enforce the law? Because you're not a dictator. But he's like, oh, Putin, oh, that'd be great. Kim Jong-un. And President Xi from China, president for life. Pretty good. We're really good friends. It's not a thing you're supposed to encourage. We're supposed to be the shining city on a hill. You could say, hey, that's marketing and it's not true, etc. But at least we should be a decent example, and other presidents, at a minimum, pretended to be. They pretended to care about human rights. They pretended, and some of them meant it, cared about democracy, and didn't want to encourage dictators by going, president for life, pretty good, huh? Almost as good as ketchup on a well-done steak. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.